Greetings and salutations.
Hey guys, welcome to the show. I am Sam. This is the Morning Mayhem Show. Hopefully everyone's having a wonderful day. We got a few things I want to talk about today. Mostly Hank Brennan. Hank Brennan, that piece of, it's a little too soon to start swearing, so just give me about another 60 seconds. But he's a POS. Hands down, 1,000%. He's also a hypocrite. He knows what he did. It's so obvious. Now he's gaslighting the jurors. He's gaslighting everyone else. And you know what? And I'm going to prove that he's a hypocrite because he was Whitey Bulger's attorney. And when he was out there screaming at the rooftops about corruption and that it's all a big conspiracy, and he went on every TV show possible to talk about the conspiracy against Whitey Bulger, a murderous fucking piece of shit. He was the loudest spokesperson. But like, oh, now it's like, oh, conspiracy. Oh, these people are lunatics. We didn't get a fair trial. The evidence was clear. The jury made a decision, and they did what they did. I'll start to respond.
Good morning to the chaos we ride.
So when I get texts, my own ideas. Hey guys, good morning. What is the date today? Today is 6/23/2025. I am Sam. This is the Morning Mayhem Show. Welcome everybody to the show. I'm just gonna wait for a few more people to get here before I break into this a little bit more. So the Morning Mayhem Show is back. It's gonna start at different times in the morning. I'm gonna try to start it at 9 o'clock, but I don't want to hold myself strictly to that 9 o'clock because if I do, then I'm going to be freaking out. I'm not going to be able to present a good show all the time. So it'll be between 9 and 10:30. I was a little late today because little Hazley and I are getting our routine together because she's on summer break and just trying to think of, like fun things to do for her. Most of you guys have met her, but the people that are going to be new to the show and watching these on the replay, Hazley is my daughter. She's 6 years old, and I'm pretty much her primary caregiver, me and her mom. But I'm here during the day most days. I'm a retired tattoo artist, and I did some construction. And I revisited the construction, but I have a really, really bad back. So here, let me lower this camera a little bit because it looks like I'm looking down. There we go. There we go. That's better. It's a little better. I need to get the graphic in there. All right. Well, how's everybody this morning? Good morning, Shell. Hey, John. How are you doing? You are Soul. How are you doing today? Cliff Ann, my other's keeper. How are you guys doing today? So good to see you. Man, what a crazy fallout from this Karen Reed trial. The jurors have spoken. I did a show on the jurors on Saturday. The jurors have spoken. Now the jurors are getting doxxed. Especially the the lawyer from Brazil. She's getting doxxed and harassed. Hank Brennan is pretty much out there saying that that they're all delusional, but he's going to respect the jury, but gaslighting them at the same time. And I just think it's totally inappropriate, considering that he's represented as a defense attorney some of the biggest criminals of our time, murdering gang member criminals from the Southeast Boston. I can't remember the name of the gang, but it's Whitey Bulger. I was in prison at the same prison Whitey Bulger was at in Hazleton. He was unalive there, but he went out like a gangster because he was in protective custody. But there was also allegedly there was members of his old gang, the one that he was working with the FBI against, saying that if you don't come out of PC and go into general population where we can get to you, then they were going to start hurting his family. So he did. He came out of protective custody and he went to Hazleton to walk the yard. I think he lasted an hour. I don't condone what was done to him. I don't condone people getting hurt at all, but I'm just saying he went out like a gangster. It happened at USP Hazleton in the federal system. And it's a crazy system. It's a crazy system. Hey Mac, how are you doing this morning? I seen that you texted me just before I went on. I will text you back when I'm done. Hopefully you're feeling better today and everything's well. So let's get into it. We've got a few people here now. So Hank Brennan's out there gaslighting people. Let's start with this one. I got 3 clips to show. We're going to start with this one. I haven't watched this one. I have watched the other 2. So we're going to be watching this together.
And more breaking news, Hank Brennan, the prosecutor in the retrial of the Karen Reed case, is finally speaking out days after a Norfolk County jury acquitted Reed of second-degree murder and manslaughter charges in the death of Boston police officer John O'Keefe. In a statement this morning, Brennan expressed his disappointment in the verdict and not achieving justice for John O'Keefe and his family. Brennan went on to say in part, quote, "After an independent and thorough review of all of the evidence, I concluded that the evidence led to one person and one person only. Neither the closed federal investigation nor my independent review led me to identify any other possible suspect or person responsible for the death of John O'Keefe. The campaign of intimidation and abuse that has been waged, funded, and promoted in public and on social media is the antithesis of justice. If this type of conduct becomes commonplace, it will threaten the integrity of our judicial system, affecting both victims and criminally accused." Brennan says he hopes that with the verdict, the witnesses and their families will be left alone. He also says he hopes the coming years will help the O'Keefe family find peace and closure.
Nathan Reed opening up days after his sister Karen was acquitted in the murder of her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe. He was in the courtroom when the not guilty verdict was read.
Okay. So there's that, but this is the one I really want. Really want to watch. Listen to this. This is court TV. Listen to the delusional ramblings by, I always forget her name.
And we have some breaking news for you this morning. Special prosecutor Hank Brennan breaking his silence on Karen Reed's verdict. In opening statements is first to obtain Brennan's statement. It reads, quote, "I am disappointed in the verdict and the fact that we could not achieve justice for John O'Keefe and his family. District Attorney Michael Morrissey appointed me, giving me full discretion to independently assess the case and follow the evidence no matter where it led. After an independent and thorough review of all the evidence, I concluded that the evidence led to one person and only one person. Neither the closed federal investigation nor my independent review led me to identify."
Not closed federal investigation. Maybe they aren't talking to you, or maybe they're not doing anything right now, I assure you guys, I will state my whatever reputation I have that federal investigation is not closed, and that it will be, I guess, announced probably in the next year or two.
Identify any other possible suspect or person responsible for the death of John O'Keefe. The campaign of intimidation and abuse that has been waged, funded, and promoted in public and on social media is the antithesis of justice. If this type of conduct becomes commonplace, it will threaten the integrity of our judicial system, affecting both victims and criminally accused. We cannot condone witness abuse, causing participants to worry for their own safety or that of their families. It is my hope that with the verdict, the witnesses and their families will be left alone. The harassment of these innocent victims and family members is deplorable and should never happen again in a case in this Commonwealth. My heartfelt condolences to the O'Keefe family and faith that over the coming years, they will find peace and closure. Hank Brennan, what a brilliant attorney and crusader for justice.
Wow. A brilliant crusader. I just want you guys to let that sink in. You guys all watched the same trial I watched. He's a crusader? This is court TV reporting that. I'm going to get back to it. That's court TV reporting that. He's not a brilliant crusader. He broke ethical laws regarding the bar and the ex parte communication with the judge. We all seen it. No one needs a tinfoil hat for that. No one needs a tinfoil hat for that. It was obvious. Look at all of the objections that were sustained. I think it might have been almost every line of questioning, every single line of questioning that was sustained. And look at all the ones that are overruled from the defense. No, I don't think there was anything brilliant at all. I think he's a corrupt, paid off, I hesitate to say provocateur, but he's definitely corrupt and he's definitely been paid off. And the crazy thing that the payoff was from the state. The payoff was from the state, almost $1 million. He was paid personally. He's a defense attorney. Yes, he's been a prosecutor, but he's now a defense attorney. He was a defense attorney right before this, and he's back to being a defense attorney. He was brought in as a special prosecutor because they knew he would play ball because he's one of their brothers. He's a brother of that whole corruption. He's part of that corruption. He's involved in that world. He defended Whitey Bulger. Understand who Whitey Bulger is. And then he gets brought in as a prosecutor? No, he's a sleazebag defense attorney that defends the undefendable. Miss me with that.
He deserves to be highly commended for his courage and the masterful job he did seeking justice for John O'Keefe.
Masterful? God, I can't. I pray that Hank Jackson responds to this in some way, shape, or form. He won't, though. He's back in LA, living his best life. He's putting this behind him for now, as much as he can. Go write a book. But he's done. He's done.
Let's bring in our power panel to get some reaction to Hank Brennan's statement. I want to welcome in John DePietro. He covered the show start to finish. He's a nationally known radio host and the creator of Road Patrol Live. Also, we've got former prosecuting attorney Tommy Pope, famously put away Susan Smith. He's in the private sector now, also a state lawmaker in South Carolina. And we have high-profile criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Mario Gallucci with us from New York. Good morning to you all. Let's get your reactions, please, to Hank Brennan's statement. I just want to kind of go around the room here and get your thoughts on what he had to say after this verdict. John, let me begin with you, please.
You know, Julie, and obviously that's the first time I'm seeing it. Everyone else is seeing it. I'm very glad he put it out. He did as good a job as anyone could, do. I'm glad he talked about the exhaustive efforts he went to, that he felt it all led to one person. But this also comes back to, I'm glad he also touched on how these witnesses, and they're coming under fire, and anyone that's talking and speaking out is coming under fire. And I also want to caution people right now, there are people, it's very dangerous rhetoric that's out there of we have to search for the real killers. And I know we're going to talk about that jury interview that Vinny did. And I find actually a lot of things she's saying very troubling, where she keeps bringing it back to the house. And she's mentioning, Nicole Albert and Brian Albert. And we need to find out this is all dangerous rhetoric. Hank Brennan put together a solid case. He actually, to me, proved his case. You even have the juror saying, I think she touched him, which to me is the new spin of Karen saying, I didn't hit him. Now you have a juror saying, I think she may have touched him, but not hit him. That must be very difficult. Hank Brennan.
It's not what she said. That's not what she said. She said she thought maybe in the beginning that she might have touched him, but then in the end realized that there was no accident because of the ARCA experts who were brought in independently in the beginning.
It should be head held high. He knew what was on, what was at stake here. And I think people really need to just finally really understand there's a lot at stake here, the way this whole thing went down and how the other side, the Karen Reed side, is actually reacting, celebrating, and just their general demeanor right.
They tried to take her life away. She beat them after them trying to, with all the corruption and all the lying and the people getting paid off, Brennan, possibly the judge. They can celebrate. You get to celebrate when that happens. And Julie Graham is a joke. Thank you, J. May. She's a pitiful joke. She's an embarrassment to court TV.
Now it's very, very damaging and to the system.
Mm-hmm. Right, John. Hank Brennan, I've said it before, I'll say it again. He's a hero. He's a hero for those victims. He fought the good fight. It's not easy to do what he did. And John, I'm glad you mentioned juror number 11 speaking with Court TV. She spoke with Vinny Politan the other night. Let's take a listen to some of what she said about the taillight evidence.
The theory I have, if she back up and maybe hit something, a curb or him, or some people in the jury raised the question, maybe he was mad and he could have thrown the glass on the taillight and break it. 34th Fairview and the police department is very close. It was time enough for someone to just show up and drop a piece of taillight at the scene.
What did you think of the...
That was taken totally out of context. She said that some of the jurors thought in the very beginning that possibly, one of the possibilities that the glass was thrown. What would they proved that there was two different pieces of glass was planted. They did. They proved it. So Court TV just edited that way out of context. It was two different statements. He was talking about before when they entered into deliberation.
Okay, so that just was a little bit of a clip of it. Tommy Pope, let me go to you next, please. Your reaction to Hank Brennan's statement, please.
I thought Hank was spot on. I think it was a slip of the tongue, Julie, but when you had introduced John, you said he covered the show from beginning to end, and that's what it was. And I think what concerns me, we see this in high-profile cases, but it normally takes place outside the courtroom. This somehow invaded the courtroom, and I think Hank was spot on. You've got to respect the jury and their decision-making because we're all part of the system, and if we quit respecting the jury, the system fails. So he's spot on with that, but I like what he went on to say, because I really think it's terrifying that you can orchestrate and get these crowds out front. Because the fact that the jurors started with the, because they never really hit the conspiracy thing like they did the first trial. But the fact that that juror just said, well, somebody from the police station could have brought it over there. That tells me she's hearing the rhetoric that has been ginned up outside the courtroom.
No, she's seeing the evidence. They didn't even, no. She's seeing the evidence. We all seen the evidence, and she's a smart chick, man. She picked up on all of Alan Jackson's cues, like I said on Saturday, the day after. Go check it out. I'll put a link up the top of the video. But yeah, she said that she's seen the evidence. She's seen the same evidence we all seen. That's not rhetoric. That's not something that was made up. That's something that the evidence proved and what they tried to hide and cover up. So miss me with that. And these lawyers that are coming on here siding with Brennan right now, they're all full of shit. Like they're all on the same good old boy network, but they're all full of shit.
I'm not saying during.
They're jealous. They're jealous of Alan Jackson, of the success that he just had. They're jealous that they didn't get such a big case. All three of those lawyers have done big cases that have been on court TV, but nothing ever quite this big. They're jealous.
In the trial necessarily, but somehow it just surprises me you would find that independently. If that's the case, then she believes everybody in every case, they ginned up the speeding charge, they ginned up everything. And so it's this verdict, I respect it too, but it's sickening. And the little signals and the smiles and the laughs. A man is dead. And I'm pretty sure this drunk lady caused it. Whether she did it intentionally or not, she did it. But now she's going to end up being a social media star or a reality star, and a family's left to suffer. So
that's their fault. That's their fault. Yes, the family is suffering. I get it. But you know what? It's all self-indulgent now. All their suffering is self-indulgent because they're not willing to look at the evidence and to stand on the top of those steps at the Canton City Hall and scream, "Who killed my son?" We need to find who killed my son, because it's obviously Karen Reed didn't do it. But because they have so much hatred and they want to protect one of their own, meaning Brian Albert, I'm not afraid to say it. Come sue me. I don't care. You can't get blood from a turnip. Brian Albert and Higgins are responsible, but they don't want to look at it like that. But if I was his mom or his brother, and his brother knows, he's seen the same evidence we did.
With you, Julie, God bless the family going through another trial, but the burden's different in a civil case. And just the video we're seeing now, it's ridiculous, but they won, so they get.
What are they supposed to do? It's been what, 3 years you've tried to take away this woman's life? What are they supposed to do?
Get the benefit of enjoying it.
Mm-hmm. Tommy, I love your analysis. Especially appreciate the part where you said this campaign invaded the courtroom. We talk a lot about the circus outside, the charade,
No, it did. It didn't invade the courtroom. That juror didn't even know that any of those people were out there till like Wednesday, 2 days beforehand.
How?
Before the verdict. And then she just heard rumblings and that they seen a few pink shirts every once in a while coming in and out of the courtroom. None of their quote unquote rhetoric came into that jury deliberation room. It just didn't.
That can't affect what goes on in the jury process. And there's a big question. I'm in agreement with you, Tom. A big question as to whether this jury was tainted, whether that pool was tainted.
Look, they're just like me, looking for content to do on this thing. But I didn't think I'd be talking about this today. They're just creating content, an opposition, something that can get people to click on. Everything that these people are saying is bullshit. And they know it's bullshit, or they're idiots, and you can't. Your lawyers. Well, I mean, there's an argument for that, but they're not dumb people. They seen the same thing we did.
From the outset because of what's gone on in this community. Mario Gallucci, last but certainly not least here on our power panel, want to get your reaction to Hank Brennan's statement and your thoughts, please.
So I agree with everybody on the panel. This is typical gaslighting. You brought this up last week in your opening statement, and this is going on more and more in these high-profile cases. The use of social media is increased. The fact that we are now having to address social media, it's going right into what I do for jury selection now. I address social media right from the get-go, just to make sure that, this doesn't interfere in the courtroom. I've tried cases that I've won that I was like, wow, what trial was this jury watching? And I've tried cases that I've lost and said the same thing. So you got to stand by the verdict. But, more and more social media is playing a large, large role of what's going on in the courtroom.
Mm-hmm. All right, Mario, I'm sure Hank Brennan knows that he's...
That's what happened in the courtroom. It has nothing to do with what happened in the courtroom. Oh my God, man, these guys have to be getting paid to come on here. They have to. We need you guys to say this. Do you guys agree? Well, yeah, for 10 grand. Yeah, I'll agree. Of course, I would almost go on and agree for 10 grand. At least right now I would.
Such a seasoned trial attorney, as you all know. He's a defense attorney, a high-profile defense attorney, represented Whitey Bulger. He's had a great career. He did this willingly.
Just saying that he represented Whitey Bulger will prove that he's a piece of shit. That he would. I mean, look, I shouldn't say he's a piece of shit for defending Whitey Bulger. We all deserve a defense, but he's part of that. He's a mob lawyer. He's a mob lawyer. That doesn't make him a POS, but that means that he'll look the other way on some stuff, and he'll do some things that might not be completely legit. I'm not judging him. I'm a drug trafficker. I'm not judging the dude. I'm just saying, don't come out here and lie. This is why channels like mine and other channels are becoming popular. And I'm not that popular yet, but that's why this genre of YouTube media coverage is going to be popular, because we're trying to find the truth.
Doing what's right, to do what's right, to seek justice. I'm sure he knows, like you said, every trial attorney knows sometimes you lose cases you should win, and you win cases you should lose. It's just the way it goes. You gentlemen know that. And in my view, this is a case that should have been won by the Commonwealth. I believe Hank Brennan proved it, not just beyond a reasonable doubt, but beyond all doubt. I don't know.
What? What is Julie Grant saying? I mean, she could have just left it at, not only did they prove it at beyond reasonable doubt. Yeah, I believe they proved it beyond reasonable doubt. No, all doubt, double, triple, quadruple down. What the F is going on Court TV right now? I assure you, I will never watch Court TV again. At least nothing like this. I'll watch coverage, but I'll never, ever watch an exclusive breaking news, anything by them, unless it's to do an opposition piece like this.
Where we ever have seen a homicide prosecution where it's proved down to the minute when the event happened. He proved down to the minute, 12:32 a.m. That was remarkable. So when we're hearing jurors, oh, I thought there was reasonable doubt. Really? Was it reasonable? But it's their verdict. They've got to live with it. It wasn't, our case. And John DePietro, I want to ask you about some of the people who have had to live with this case only because of their proximity and relationships to John O'Keefe, the Alberts, the McCabe's. They sat down with ABC News. I know you saw the interview. We have a little clip from it. Let's take a look.
You do realize for this conspiracy to be true, it would take 30 to 50 people. You'd have to have multiple cops on 2 different police departments.
Nope, that's a lie. I proved that the other day. Well, I didn't prove it, but I talked about it. It would take 7 people at the very most, and then just some other people just, getting the information from them. By him over exaggerating the fact what do they call that? Not straw man. There's something, there's a name for it. It's he's such a liar. Look at him. He's such a liar.
Multiple civilians, the medical examiner, firemen.
Nope, it wouldn't even take 7, really. It would just take that 5 right there.
EMTs, you name it. That's how preposterous.
All in bed together. He's what, like the county commissioner? That's Brian Albert's wife. Then Brian Albert. Then his wife's sister and her sister's husband. Look, you guys don't want to go down because Higgins, killed him at our house. So let's all just, be on the same page with this. Please, she's telling her sister, I don't want my husband to go to jail. Please, please. And she's like, of course I will. Of course, it's us. This is family over here. I know that's a terrible accent, but.
And silly this is.
I love that interview. And John, I have to tell you, and this is something you know well from covering this case, and being someone who's, always been on a quest for the truth and justice and sticking to the facts and getting, unwarranted attacks. I've experienced it as well and tried to be silenced. It didn't work for either of us. We kept speaking. But I heard Brian Albert say there was a blueprint. He said there was a blueprint that he said that Karen Reed and her team, whatever you want to call it, PR machine, advocacy team, whatever it is, the blueprint was to destroy the witnesses, destroy their credibility, ruin their lives so they wouldn't come forward. And we hear Hank Brennan saying in his statement, think about how this is the antithesis of justice. If there is campaigning done outside the courtroom to ruin people's lives and intimidate them so that justice can't happen, where will we be in America? And then same goes for members of the media who were just there to report the facts, tell the stories, and then to get attacked for doing their job.
And he was just reporting the story and trying to get statements. Notice he's not going to jail for that. He's getting found not guilty. So she's false reporting, fake news, fake news.
I'd love your thoughts on all of this, John.
Julie, I think Nicole Albert even summed it up. Why would someone come forward to testify in a murder trial in Massachusetts? Why would people get involved? No one protects you. I think people need to understand, we're not talking about inside the courtroom where they throw out a third-party culprit. We're talking about an orchestrated campaign, leaked all their names from grand jury testimony, and then a concerted effort. This is where they live. This is where this one lives. Or you camp out. Let's show you where they all are, and let's just keep the pressure and make their life living hell.
But that didn't keep them from testifying. They didn't testify this one because Brennan knew that they could be proven liars. That didn't keep them from testifying. They were chomping at the bit to testify.
And I thought it was, they have been under attack this entire time, but it's really ramped up the past couple of days since, the verdict came out. But it's an element of dehumanize, go after them, convince people that these people.
Doing a Scoville, death threats, vandalism to my house. They know where I live. I'm renting the house, my mom's house. I'm renting my house to a family member. Come on.
People are not worth basic respect.
Mm-hmm. You're so right, John. I feel like we could all keep talking. I know we're out of time, but I sure hope that good people start standing up, protecting these innocent people. And we certainly saw that with Hank Brennan. My God, what an incredible job he did with this prosecution, and should hold his head up high. John DePietro, we have to let you go. Incredible reporting. You were one of the very courageous ones, speaking up, speaking out, always making sure that John O'Keefe was at the forefront of this story. Thank you for that.
Okay, I wake up at 6 a.m.
So yeah, I wanted to share that bit of fake news, man. It just really gets me pissed off. If I sound like I'm on helium, I apologize. Yeah. I want to show you guys this. This is who Hank Brennan is. He's not this stand-up guy for justice. He's not like a prosecutor out there to get the bad guys. He's trying to get bad guys off. He's trying to get really bad guys off. He's trying to find loopholes. And he was screaming conspiracy when he was defending Whitey Bulger, screaming at the top of his lungs. We're going to watch this. This is right after the Whitey Bulger trial. Who, as I said before, was unalived at USP Hazleton, West Virginia.
All right. Well, over the course of 35 days, jurors heard from no less than 72 witnesses. The one person they did not hear from was Whitey Bulger himself, as he declined to testify. After the verdict, defense attorney Jay Carney spoke for Bulger, saying he was pleased with the outcome.
It was important to him that the government corruption be exposed, and important to him that people see firsthand the deals that the government was able to make with certain people.
And now Hank Brennan, a member of Whitey Bulger's defense team, is here. Welcome, Hank Brennan.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a wild 8-10 weeks for you.
It's been a busy year and a half.
How did your client respond today? We just heard Jay Carney, your partner in this, say that he wanted to see that the government was partly culpable. But how did he respond to it's 31 out of 32 counts he was proven guilty?
James Bulger was extraordinarily content. I think the moment for him came well before the verdict. It was the effort and the demonstration in court to help try to show as much truth as we could. The idea that the government has some liability and accountability in what had happened over those decades was one of the most important objectives we had.
One of the oddities of this was to see Stephen.
But now it's impossible. Oh, you guys are all conspiratorial thinkers, tinfoil hat. You want us to believe? You want the people to believe that there would be corruption in this little small town government? Yes, especially in a small town government, especially where all these people grew up together. They're all linked, interlinked here and there. They're brothers, they're cousins, they're friends of cousins. They own businesses, they employ each other. And I'm not even going to get into all the how Annie Bev was intertwined with almost everybody, all the way down to Proctor's mom, or whose mom did her mom work for, and that she used to go visit them at the cafeteria where they worked. It's just, I'm not judging it. Just admit that it exists, and don't say it's not a possibility. It's an absolute possibility, not just a possibility. It's happening. It happened. It's done. Don't gaslight anyone. Don't try to dox the jurors, and then now because of what they did, because of the I believe true heroism of what they did by finding her not guilty. And look, that juror lives in that community. She has to. She's a juror, right? It's one of it has to be someone from the local community, and she's really being the bravest out of all of them, coming out and saying, like, look, something happened in that house. It was proven there was no accident. She's going to have to move. She's going to have to move. And when she does a GoFundMe to help her move, I'm going to be sharing it at the top on every platform I have, which is 3. Like I got a million platforms. But for real, when it's time for her to move, we're going to help her get moved.
Davis and other members of families of victims embracing you and Jay Carney today, and that here you were representing the man who killed their loved ones. What was that like for you to have them almost siding with you in a sense? Not that they didn't want to see the government, convict them, prosecute them and convict them, but they really credit you with bringing out the government part of the corruption.
Look, they credit him for bringing out the corruption. So Brennan, miss us with all that corruption doesn't exist. You're all conspiracy. Thank you so much, Wolfie, for the gifted memberships. I haven't had any gifted memberships in a really long time, and it's appreciated. And I know the people that receive those gifted memberships really appreciate you. My other's keeper got one. Thank you so much. Yes, nepotism. That was the word I was looking for, and I couldn't think of it. Coming from Hollywood, I've witnessed a lot of nepotism, with stars, even people that work in the back, the grips, the the directors, the sound, everyone. It's all nepotism. To break into that industry, you really have to know someone who knows somebody. Yeah, that's awesome. Look, Shell Dub got a membership. So anyways, guys, if anyone wants to call in right now, you can call in. The phone number is, I have it at the bottom, 406-356-6211. Let me make sure that it's turned on. Just gotta make sure your browser might prevent calls from change your browser settings. I haven't tested it right now, but yeah, it's on for receiving calls. But yeah, it's what a crazy just go away into the sunset with your $1 million. But no, he had to save a little face, and like I said, I'm not judging him. No, you know what? I am judging Brennan. I am judging him. I don't have to be I am judging him, but I'm not condemning him. How about that? So anyways, how's everybody doing, man? I'm feeling pretty good this morning. It's Hazley's break, so that's pretty dope. From school, and we're just hanging out today. We're gonna go to the park, and I think I'm gonna try to get her to ride her bike without training wheels. I've been wanting to do this for a really long time. Anyways, if anyone has anything to say, you guys can call 406-356-6211. The phone lines are open. And yeah, let's talk about the case a little bit. If Brendan doesn't like all the social media because they call him out on the lies and sleazy, they keep. Hi, Kim, are you there? Hey, how are you today? Yeah. Yeah. I love it. How are you doing? Yes. Oh, yeah. Well, I hope you feel better. Geez. Yeah. And yeah, Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Hold on 1 second. They say they can't hear you. Let me just no, let me try to fix this real quick. Man, I don't know why they couldn't. Hey, can we just say something? Just yeah. Yeah. Um, it says you're going through the stream. Oh, you know what? I bet. Oh, I know what it is. I know exactly what it is. Check. Say something again. Yep, it's not going through. Hold on. Wavelink stream. Okay, try it again. Nope. Wavelink stream. Everyone should hear you loud and clear. No, I can't even hear you. Yeah, that's crazy. Moving browser. Yeah, that's nuts. It says you're coming through the mixer. What's what's that one? Yeah, everything's going through in the mixer. Um, I think someone said they can almost hear. Yeah, let me say something one last time. Okay. Someone give me a 5 by 5 if you can hear it. Mm, 0 to 5. That means yeah. Well, I'm sorry. I really wanted this to. I mean, I could do it on the Zoom, but the Zoom, it's hard to like watch the show and be on Zoom at the same time. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I I had what I did was I turned up the EQ so it would be loud. So let me just try turning that down. And yeah, no, if she can hear it garbled, then I can I can do this. Yeah, I think it's just they can hear, but it's just garbled. I think the EQ with your cold or the yeah. Sorry. Geez, I was like cool and take phone calls. And trying. Okay, thanks, Kim. Bye. Could you guys hear the hang up when it hung up? When it goes dun dun dun. Dang it. No. Wolfie says no. Donna E says no. Well, that is crazy because it is. Let me just try. Speaker. Check, check. Browser. Can you hear me? Okay, yeah. See, it says you're going through the thing, but no one can hear out there, and I don't understand. Is it? Um. Oh, they see now we can. Huh. Okay. Cool. How's it going? Good. Good. That's weird that I don't think I changed anything, but I must have. Oh, really? Yeah, I gotta figure this out better. I just tried to just jump on in and do it. The I know a lot of it has to do with the EQ. I'm gonna turn down the EQ a little bit. So what are you doing today? Yeah, that's all I'm doing too. It is super hot here. Yeah. Now they're saying I'm only hearing no, now they're saying can't hear the caller still yet. Yeah, geez. I don't the phone part worked really good last time. I'm gonna have to I don't know why it's not working this time. Like I felt like it worked pretty good. Route to microphone FX. I know that's what I did. Where are you located at in the country? Oh, okay. It's pretty hot up there? Yeah. Yeah, man. I'm really bummed I can't get this going. I'll have to figure it out. It's been hot for the last 3 days. Yeah. The someone said that there's supposed to be a heat wave coming soon. Bye, Wolfie. Thank you for the gifted memberships. Um, that there's supposed to be a heat wave at the end of the month, like a bad one. So, but I haven't seen anything on it. I can't hear anything anymore. Check, check, 1, 2. Boy, this has become a shite show. Well, sorry guys, I thought I could do the call-in show. What an idiot. I'm gonna work that out today, and because I just lost like 40 viewers. But yeah, that's basically all I wanted to talk about today. I'm gonna be doing I'm not gonna be doing politics anymore. Not for any reason except for I just don't want to talk about politics anymore. Some things are changing with my the way I am seeing things, and if it yeah, sorry, Dar. The way I'm seeing things, and until I know how I feel about them, I don't want to like process that live with you guys. Do you know what I mean? So I just want to talk about fun stuff, heated stuff, mostly just true crime. We're gonna get into the oh man, what was the one I had planned? Well, we're gonna do troubled teen industry this week with Jen Marie. I did want to get into I can't remember. Anyway, I have a few things that I want to get into in the next like week. I'm doing like a little mini documentary that I'm going to show you guys. It's going to be just like the one I did with the doctor. I still haven't finished the the part 2 of the cancer doctor out of Helena, Montana. And then that's what I was going to do. I was going to do an update on the dad that unalived his 3 daughters. I want to do an update on that to see how close we are to finding him. That's if they haven't. I didn't look yesterday. So, but I feel like it would be pretty big news if they would have caught him already. What's the nickname? What are they calling that story? Besides, piece of shit dad. I can't remember. Do they have a nickname for that story yet? Anyways, you guys, please hit the like and subscribe button on the way out. Even though I kind of did a big shite at the end, thinking you guys could call in. Yeah, no, I know, Simone. Yep, I know. Absolutely. I just, I'm feeling some kind of way about some things right now. And so I just want to like process how I feel about it. That way I can get, stand on my opinion and not be like wishy-washy. So, does that make sense? Yeah, I just don't want to be wishy-washy about it because I feel like I'm already, I do Samsplaining and I already have like these traits that like if I'm not completely firm on something, it just I feel like I just flounder on the subject because I'm still processing it in my head. And so yeah, that's all. Anyway, exactly how I'm explaining this to you guys right now. Question, that video you have of the long con, is there much difference between that and the first version we saw? The one on the which video on the long con? Where Susie and I play the audio? Or are you talking about the original one that Reese and I did? So basically the one that Susie and I did is the original audio. And so that's a lot different. The video I have of the long con, do you mean the one that's on the Grift Watch page? Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, because the Grift Watch page is not me, but it's up there. The last one you did versus the original that was played by her or something. Yes, it's completely different. It's completely different. It shows Reese being just disrespectful to the victims and not really caring that Tommy wanted to be a con man, and that she was like, no, let's still do the, the jester stuff. Just thinking about how they could still use each other. It was a trip. Yeah. Grift Watch has an entire version of the original Reese video that she took down. So what do you guys think about this? I get it. No. What is lawful and what they might say is legal. Politics aside, we must persevere. That's right. That's right. No, I didn't mean like this. I was like, yes. I didn't almost pull the Elon there. Yeah, I'm just real disillusioned with Elon and but I did a video on how I felt about Trump the other day. I don't feel he's lied to anybody. I feel like he's still being honest. I don't think he's going against the mandate. But we just have to be careful. It's so weird. 10 years ago, I never thought I would even care. But now that I have a young daughter again, my daughters were all grown up. Not that I don't care about them or my grandkids, but when you have a little girl, like you start thinking differently. You want to leave this place a little better. All the cliche things a guy can say, about, having a young daughter and just being in the world that we live in. So, I don't know, but thanks, Wolfie, for doing those gifted memberships. The first gifted memberships I've had in like 3 weeks, so I appreciate it. I do have a donation link for tips, and I do have a GoFundMe going right now. And I never, ever in a million years thought I would have a GoFundMe, but it's out there. I'm not going to put it in the chat or anything, or send you anywhere, but it's out there. If you want to help out, I think we're almost there. So, yeah. But yeah, you know what? Let's just do it live. Screw it. Let's go look for what's going on with the dad and the hunt. Let me do this real quick, because I want to see if there's been any more press conferences. What do you guys think about Marilyn and Tommy's ordeal? That shit is crazy. Well, Karen Reed's lawyers have a theory. Well, we might need to watch that. I'm going to open that up. Let me find this. Sorry, guys. Let me just find this real quick. I might have did it under my other. Yeah, I must have. Also, you guys go check out Legal Livewire. I uploaded a new video today, and I got 2 new this morning, and I have 2 more videos I'm going to upload later today with Judge John Stevens. They're really good. So go check them out. That's Legal Livewire Court Watch. Oh yeah, Tommy is crazy. I don't know what they're calling that. What they're calling that update for the dad. Oh, I know. Surviving the Survivor has it. Is that what that's called? Surviving the Survivor? Yeah. Come on. Why can't I open that channel? There's no way they would have blocked me. I don't even know who they are. Okay, here we go. Wow, that's weird. I can go on one channel, but not the other. That's weird. That's super weird. Yeah, no updates yet. Oh, I guess they're calling him the killer. Killer. 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. Jeez. How are they not keeping people updated? I think he unalived himself. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Yeah, Surviving the Survivor. Yeah, it is a great channel. I just found it like 2 days ago. Which is crazy. Oh, that's cool. James Collins' shorts are really cool. Hey, Incarnasoul, how are you doing? Oh, did he used to be on that? Wait, did I know that, Incarnasoul? Did I know that? I don't think he ever told me that. But now I want to say, I think I did. I think I knew that. So there's a dad up here. I'm just going to share this story here. I'll just play this. This gentleman unalived his daughters, and it's up here in my neck of the woods. So I believe that he took himself out, but he did it away from where the young girls were found. And the family is adamant on not calling them young ladies, that they were just young girls. I understand that, strangely enough. So yeah, trigger warning. I'm just gonna play this because I am gonna be following up on this almost every day that I can. But it's not on my things to share. There it is. Here we go, guys. For those of you who haven't heard this story, it's unbelievable.
3 young daughters is expanding and intensifying. CBS News correspondent Chanel Call is in the newsroom tracking the story for us. And Chanel, what is the latest on this manhunt?
Well, Mugo, it is now day 5 of the search for 32-year-old Travis Decker. As you know, he is accused of kidnapping and murdering his 3 daughters, 9-year-old Peyton, 8-year-old Evelyn, and 5-year-old Olivia. Their bodies, Mugo, were found dead in a remote campground shortly after they were reported missing. This happened on Friday. Local police say a woman called in reporting that those 3 young girls had not returned after a visit planned with their father on Friday night. Today, Mugo, we're learning more about that man. Deputies now releasing some new photos and video surveillance of him, including this video that I want to show you. And what you see here is ring camera footage the day he picked up those 3 young girls, his 3 daughters. That was the last time that they were seen alive, Mugo. Authorities now say Decker is someone who is a former military member. He had extensive tactical training, and they're unsure at this point if he's out and armed. Here's more from Chelan County Sheriff Mike Morrison.
We have learned so far through our investigation today that he is well versed in outdoor survival. And talking with his father, it sounds at times that he would go out and would be living off grid for sometimes up to 2.5 months.
And I also want to talk about just how broad and expansive the search for Decker is right now. The U.S. Marshals Violent Offender Task Force is now working, Mugo, with the local sheriff's office, the FBI, Homeland Security, and Border Patrol to try to find this person. The sheriff also, Mugo, says the autopsy results are expected back today, and that may give authorities a better sense of just how long Decker has been on the run for.
Yeah, the story will just never make sense to me. Chanel Call, thank you for that reporting.
No, it'll never make sense to me either. And what possesses a guy to do that? I don't understand. Especially as a father of daughters, and I've said it many times. I'm sorry if it's redundant. As a father of daughters, I would trade my life for an extra year for them to get an extra year of any of their lives. if you could tell me that my daughter Hazley could live and say that she was going to pass at 40, if you were to tell me that she could live to 41, I would give up my life right now for her, right this second. So I don't understand these guys who do that to their daughters, just like the guy in Washington. That's crazy. Both these happened in Washington. The guy in Washington who took his kids into his house, away from it was a supervised visit. He took the kids in the house and locked the lady out and lit the house on fire with himself in it. I don't understand it. It is really sad and it bums me out. But I need to cover these things. I mean, especially this guy hasn't been found yet. What if Auntie Monkey Pants now sees him, or someone else? You were at a 7-Eleven, you see him, and you're just like, holy shit, I just seen him on After the Bars this morning. You know what I mean? It would it wouldn't save anybody, but it would put that fool away for the rest of his life. Yeah, exactly. Simone Miller says there was a reason for him not having visitation in the first place. I think, and my wife's best friend, her husband took out her and her two kids unalive. I can say it, just murdered them up in Kalispell. What was it, a month and a half ago? And it was a very hard time for her and my wife. And I'm not asking for sympathy for her or anything. She got through it, but we spent the evening looking at pictures of them just 10 years ago, and they look like babies. And I'm just like, oh my God, man. And yeah, the husband unalived them all. And it doesn't make sense. He was just a nerdy guy who was into like comic books and swords and stuff. And you know what I mean? Like, not like in an aggressive way, like swords, like to fight with them. He was just like, hey man, check out my, Game of Thrones sword, just a super nerdy guy. And, yeah, that's right. They sure do. They have, Simone Miller says the family court has to have the best interests of the children. But yeah, but as a believer, they're in a better place, but, you still don't get to be an evil person while you're here. It's just really sad. Hey guys, today, if you can, to help the channel grow, it's free, absolutely free. Hit that like button, please, on your way into the shows or on the way out of the shows. And if you can share it. YouTube, whenever sometimes when we talk about these sensitive things, YouTube is finicky. They don't like to push it out. And also, for all the new people that are watching, I have a handshake agreement that if you watch the show and you like it, that you hit the like button and you hit subscribe. Of course, there's other ways to support the show, but I just ask that you do that. It's absolutely free, and that really, really helps the show. When I used to watch YouTubers say that, because I never hit like or subscribe on anything that I watched, really, unless it was something I wanted to watch again, like a court show or something. I would hit subscribe, but I watch a lot of people every day that I never subscribed to. Now I subscribe to anyone that I watch more than once. I make sure that they get my subscription, because now I do see how much it helps the show, and it would help their show. And just to kind of keep my subscriber karma good, I do that now, but I didn't used to. So I do know what lurking is, but yeah, anyways. I'm not going to go on a half-hour rant on subscribing and how cool it is. I could, though. I could. Also, you guys, give me a list of things that you guys want me to cover in the upcoming months, and I will be more than happy to take it under consideration. I know that I'm scouring for new true crime that isn't that aren't big stories. They're just like small town stories. Like I'm going to do the one about and you know, DUIs are close to my heart. My first wife was killed by a DUI. So I do look a lot for DUI related stories for my fight against drinking and driving. I don't think you should be able to drive at a 0.04. I don't think you should go to jail for it. But I really just think, you know, if you get pulled over and you've been drinking, you're below an 0.8. I believe the cops should just like have you just call for a ride or something. You know, and that might be a little, you know, severe, but that's just my beliefs. I've lost 2 people to drinking and driving, and yeah, and the first person was under the limit, but they were racing, and I just feel like he was just a little too impaired to be racing around town, and obviously, but I mean, I feel like it would have happened if they would have been drinking or not, but you just don't know, right? You just don't know. Damn, I wish that call-in stuff would have worked, man. I don't understand. Oh, thanks, Darcy's. Do you have a YouTube channel, Darcy's? But thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, Tan Louise. Hey, and good morning. I know, same thing with when I look at Sean Atwood's, you know, like up and coming shows. I don't watch Sean Atwood because I have no idea what any of those things are. But I'm sure they're super interesting. I mean, he's got a pretty successful channel, so it must be really interesting, the things that he talks about. Oh, okay, Darcy's. Yes, I'm recovering too. As a recovering alcoholic, I am truly deeply sorry for your loss. I never took the chance of making someone live through your loss. Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, Kim. Yeah. Let's talk about that for a second. Yeah, some of this stuff is a little crazy, right? Yeah, thank you. I never thought I would be sober. I never ever thought I would be like someone who lives in recovery. I was a chronic relapser. I just couldn't figure it out. And then one day I got over my grief for my first wife, that it all made sense to me why I self-destructed all the time and why I like slowly was trying to kill myself with drugs and alcohol. I used to go into therapy when I was chronically relapsing, and I would just throw my hands up to my therapist. Like, I have no idea why. I just burn it all down. I would build it and burn it all down, build it and burn it all down. I'd have no why over a $20 sack and a bottle of alcohol. I like beer, and then when I drink, after I get really drunk on beer, I used to like to drink tequila. I felt like the tequila sobered me up, but all the tequila really did was wake me up, and then I could keep drinking. And then when I would get too drunk, then I would want to go get, you know, the hard stuff. It's just weird, but I never thought I could break free from it. Now it's just like so easy. I mean, I respect it. I respect the disease and the lure of it, and it being a disease or not, you know, I'm still on the fence of that. I do believe when I was in relapse mode that it was definitely a disease, but I feel like I've been healed from that disease. Like, I don't know. Anyways, not a lot of people share my thinking on that. But as using God as my higher power, I believe he's the great healer, right? He's the great physician in the sky, you know. And what was I was talking to Kim about something. Oh yeah, a lot of his stuff is creepy as fuck. Yeah. He has a lot of weird. That's why I stopped watching, actually, because of the psychic stuff. First of all, it didn't make sense. And I watch psychic stuff. Actually, I'm getting ready to watch a show on what's his name being debunked. And okay, I have a story for you guys. You guys all know about, let me go get her picture. Let me turn on some lights. Okay, you guys all know about my friend, right? Christina. She was my best friend and she unalived herself. Trigger warning. Let me do my trigger. There we go. So that's Christina. She was my best friend in the entire world. I've never been closer to anyone than Christina. Closer to her than my wife. Both wives. Christina was my number one. I went into a psychic the day after she unalived herself. I went into a psychic. He immediately said, whoa, 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 whoa. I was like, what? He's like, we barely even started. We talked about Christianity a little bit because he was a Christian, but also a psychic. And so he was like, I pray before we do it that Jesus protects us from anything dark or evil that would come into our reading, because he feels like I break through certain things, right? I'm like, yeah, cool. Still not really believing, but I believed enough that there's a possibility that it could be real. Anyways, she came, he's like, whoa. I'm like, what? He's like, there's a girl jumping up and down, screaming, tell him he's my number one. Tell him he's my number one. And I'm not going to cry right now. I'm fighting it. And you guys all know I'm not afraid to cry. But I want to get through this because it's kind of an amazing thing. And I'm looking over to where the event happened. So this morning I'm watching, I ran across this thing. There's a guy named, he's the psychic to the stars. He talks to people about talking to their loved ones that are on the other side. And I know Kim, my other keeper, is gonna yell at me the next time I talk to her about talking about the skin, but not really, but I know it's not biblical. And so I'm watching the thing because I'm going to share with you guys about this guy getting debunked. And I questioned my reading for just a millisecond. I questioned it. I was like, damn, could he have gotten me somehow? Maybe I thought that we used to tell each other that we are each other's number one, or maybe he picked up on that, she was my number one, or maybe he says that to everyone. And a lot of people say that, or want to believe that person is there. You know what I mean? I started questioning it. And Hazley came into the room, and Hazley and I sitting there talking, and over by her picture is a cross. The crosses that they put on caskets? It's her casket cross, right? And somehow that cross flipped down. It's been there for months. I have no fans on. But when I started questioning in my head, and I was listening to that, I'm just going to say it. She flipped that crossover. Just saying. And that doesn't prove that what happened was real, but I know you guys are going to think I'm a whack job right now, but I know she just flipped over that cross. It wasn't barely leaning up, it was It's been there for months, leaned over. There's no way for it to fall forward. Impossible. And she did it right when I was thinking about her. Do you know what I mean? So, I don't know. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. El Capo. Good evening from Northumberland in the UK. Atwood was jailed in the USA for trafficking ecstasy. Yes, I did know that about him. I did know. Thank you for sharing that too, El Capo. For the viewers that didn't, because I probably wouldn't have talked about it. Yeah, he was jailed for ecstasy. I watched the documentary of him and Sammy the Bull. Well, it really wasn't. He never really knew Sammy the Bull, but he knew his kid, and he was going to take his kid out, or supposedly the story was like, or no, the kid was going to take him out because he was just like a little like fairy flying through the Arizona desert selling ecstasy. And I don't mean like fairy like as a gay slur. I just mean like he was just like this ecstasy guy, flying through everywhere and being being a weird, like a weird guy. And no judgment at all. I've done tons of ecstasy. How can I judge someone for dealing drugs? I'm a drug trafficker, ex-drug trafficker. So like that, no judgment at all. But yes, that whole story is crazy. And but he sure is doing good now. And I feel like if I even judged him a little bit, it would be out of jealousy. So just that, he's got a cool show. That's his retirement. This is my retirement. So I need to get on the road. Remember, smash that like and subscribe. If you can, I really appreciate it. Been bleeding subscribers. And who knows why and who cares why, really. I'm not going to change the show, unless I want to change the show about the things that I'm feeling and choose to talk about. But yeah, we're going to be talking a lot more about true crime. I'm just trying to feel how I can do my take on true crime and it be, exciting. And, and all the legal stuff. I'm definitely still doing legal stuff. I feel like I shine when I talk about the legal stuff, more so than when I talk about like politics or current events or, Hollywood stuff. You would think I would love to do the Hollywood stuff, but the Hollywood stuff is boring to me. It's probably just because I grew up there. But anyways, thank you guys all for coming out today. I really appreciate it. I will see you tomorrow. No, I will see you tonight. I was doing a show tonight. So turn on your notifications. It's good to see you, Beta. I haven't seen you in a while. It's really good to see you. I think, what happened to Beej Heen? Has anyone seen her in any other any other chats or anything? She used to be on the show a lot. I did see, no, never mind. I'm not going to talk about that. Yeah, man. Right? Yvette. Thank you, Yvette Sanchez. Yvette Sanchez, Hank, shame on him for giving too much excuse. This is not the first time he's lost a case, but he was 100%. Yeah. Yeah, dude. It's nuts, dude. It's nuts. It's because he's just trying to save face for the true perpetrators and calling them a victim. It's beyond obvious. I've talked to Galen. Thank you for asking, Danette. It's beyond obvious. Down S Mom, I'll see you tonight too. Galen is doing okay. I'm probably gonna try to text her today. I haven't talked to her. I've texted with her, and she's doing okay. Matt is okay right now. And can I get a ton of prayers, please? If everyone in this chat could just say a prayer for Galen and her husband, I would really appreciate it. And what they're going through, that would be amazing. Like, I know I'm going to, as soon as I hit end stream, I'm going to drop on my knees and say a prayer for them. Yeah, or send your love. You don't have to pray to God if you don't believe in God, but just like send good vibes, vibrations, love, good intention, that they just that they walk in grace and healing. Because we miss her. I'm gonna start crying about it. I really miss her. I really miss her being here. She's an amazing person. And it just sucks what they are going through. So I will definitely send her your love, Danette. And I will. I'll let her know that you guys are all thinking about her. For sure. Thanks, Beta. Thanks, Tan Louise. Thanks, Darcy's. Thanks, Incarnate Soul. You're welcome. That debauchery penetrates society. What it penetrates several degrees of the nuclear family because of the rift in the ecosystem. Yes, all of that. Thank you, Simone. That debauchery penetrates society. What it perpetrates in the several degrees of the nuclear family causes a rift in the ecosystem. It's well said. Well said. I'm actually going to screenshot that. Yeah. That's right. I will, Auntie Monkey Pants. I will. I'm going to just give her a list of everyone I'll say everyone, but also I'm going to just give her a list of the people that are like specifically saying, please let her know. Please let her know. So, morning, Auntie. Yeah, Auntie Monkey Pants. I was like, who's Auntie? Auntie Monkey Pants. It's me, Auntie Monkey Pants. Why? Because me pants are monkeying. Why do they call it? Because me pants are monkeying. All right, guys. I love you guys. You guys have an amazing day. I don't know what tonight's show is going to be about. I have an idea. So I'm going to just stick with that idea and not overthink it. And we will have a good show. I'm trying to find let's do my old intro or my old outro. Yeah, let's do that one. I really love that song. And it's just, that's where we need to be. Okay, guys, this is Sam. I am After the Bars. This is the Morning Mayhem Show. I will see you tonight on the Late Night Mayhem. I've changed it 4 times. Bye.
Stay loud. Don't be woke. Stay wild. Stay awake. This was morning